Okay.
And now we're going to do a 3, 2, 1 clap. 3,
I'm recording. 3.
2,
You count.
3, 2, 1, clap.
I definitely clap before you.
That's okay. It just gives me a point. Just a point of reference, and I'll figure it out from there. Buddy, talk to me. We're back. We're live. You introed it last time. You introed the return episode. Now we're back. We're episode number 2 in the return, in the revival. This sort of renaissance of Turnip and Stone, if you will.
Miles away.
You know, who would have thought that you would ever be able to podcast from miles away? That's the amazing. First of all, no one could have ever imagined podcasting. And then no one could have ever imagined podcasting from this far away. And here we are, podcasting from 860 miles away from each other.
I can imagine podcasting. It's essentially AM radio.
It's very much like AM radio, minus the listeners.
It starts out as something completely different, almost like a captain's log.
Yeah.
And then you hope to get listeners.
What we're doing right now is essentially like a black box recording for a sunken ship or a crashed plane that one day somebody will be able to listen to and examine and see if it gives them some clues about what went wrong.
Saturday, August 31st, 2024.
Labor Day weekend.
Labor Day weekend.
What are you doing? You grilling out? You cooking?
Celebrating labor?
You sit, yeah. What are you doing to celebrate labor?
I like to just move a lot of heavy stuff.
I do.
I get a pile of gravel dumped in my driveway.
And I give it to the neighborhood kids like Halloween candy. Don't forget, it's Labor Day, the day that we celebrate.
Hand out shovels.
Is Labor Day just to celebrate the fact that people work?
Yeah, it's like, you know, they give the military a day, they got Juneteenth, and they got Labor Day. Let's see the origins. I got the machine right here in front of me.
Yeah, please do. I got the
Google
iPhone.
it. I'm going standing desk, standing cast. I'm on Wiki already.
I got
Labor Day is a federal holiday in the United States celebrated on the first Monday of September to honor and recognize the American labor movement and the works and contributions of laborers to the development and achievements of the United States.
This is sort of I like this idea. I feel like we should have a couple of these. There's so much labor going on in the world that we should probably have more than one Labor Day. There's a Labor Day on the U.S. Department of Labor. They have a page dedicated to this.
Are you looking it up too right now?
Yeah, I'm just got it on the iPhone, but there's you can sign up for the weekly newsletter from the U.S. Department of Labor. You want me to drop your email?
Yeah, throw it in there.
You want to get some updates? All right, let's see what the U.S. Department of Labor does actually. While we're exploring
just handle
this.
labor and things related.
Well, yeah, but how do they? Like, what do they move? Or is it the rights of labor? Do they conduct labor? Oh, women's health, first featured story on the Department of Labor. The Good Jobs Initiative. I like that. I could use a good job.
Please tell me where they are.
Oh, right under that is disaster recovery, which is good. I'm recovering from a disaster, and I really need a good job. American.
On the Wikipedia, you got the unofficial end of summer.
It is kind of the unofficial end of summer. Somebody really needs to just shift the seasons to match perfectly with the months. So it's just June, July, August, September, October, November, December, January, February, March, April, May. Let's keep the seasons.
To match what?
To match the seasons could just match the months. Instead of it, fall starts on September 24th. I've been in fall mode for the last half of September every year.
Yeah, you're saying it should be the first of the month?
Yeah, why not just do full September, October, November?
Yeah,
that's fall.
Start at September 1 or October 1.
Yeah, totally.
Let's rethink the calendar.
Let's you and me come up with something to replace the Gregorian calendar.
What is time?
What is time? This is podcasting at its most fundamental. This is quantum podcasting.
Welcome back to the Quantum Podcast.
What the dude? There's this YouTube guy that I watch, who pops up in the shorts, really, and I'm kind of tired of him. It's all big questions, and it's all wormhole and multiverse and time dilation and stuff like that. And let me tell you, I don't want science to explore that. I kind of am at my limits with science. I've had it up to here. And I know this is an audio medium, but I promise my hand is above my head right now. I've had it up to here with science.
I'm asking you to visualize my hand above my head.
See, and now let me tell you what would happen is if we were on this guy's YouTube channel, he would be like, but is your hand really above your head? Science says that electrons can be in two places at once. Hence, nobody's hand is ever above or below their head. They're always on the same fourth dimension.
Yeah, it's one of those things where like they get so deep once they reach a certain depth, like even a total idiot can disprove them by just being like, but why?
Yeah.
But why is that?
That's how I feel about Neil deGrasse Tyson, where like I'm just like, I could never prove you're wrong, Neil. But I'm pretty sure, when it's just like time is actually the waves of light passing through the filter of space-time. And you're like, I'm pretty sure you're wrong on that one. I don't know if I could ever teach anybody why, but I just have a feeling that that's not what's going on. There's no way that time is the light passing through the fabric of space or whatever the hell. You're like, please knock it off.
Yeah, it just reaches a point where you're like, what are you even talking about?
Hey, no more space-time till you finish your cancer cures.
Yeah, talk about something that matters, please.
Until we have peace in the Middle East, I say we don't really question whether or not light exists.
Yeah, the universe was started 8.2 billion. Okay. How?
We actually just figured out that Pluto is 12 years older than we thought it was.
It's like, what, you put some fucking numbers on a chalkboard?
Neat.
And that told us how old this shit was?
Look, I think you can find out dinosaurs, fish, those early fish that got legs and hopped up on land. I'm all about that. I like trilobites. I like pterodactyls, woolly mammoths. Fine. I'm happy with the little fossils. The what are the ones that look like little spirals? They're not anemones. Animite. Oh, I should know this.
I think you're talking about a hermit crab.
I'm happy with all of that stuff. But sometimes you start breaking down the fundamentals and you go, hey, I don't think we're ready for this just yet. How about until we make something that doesn't shrink in the dryer?
What are numbers? This is turning into a real flat earth podcast. And I mean, people do dismiss, there are crazy conspiracy theorists that are totally insane.
Totally.
And are willing, but there is something to be said about like, well, how the fuck do you know?
What do you mean?
I get like to these scientists and stuff. You reach a point where like you eventually come to like just a bunch of predictions.
Yeah, and I'm
regarding
sure
like the origins of the universe and shit like that.
It gets to a point, and I might be talking out of my ass. Well, I'm definitely talking out of my ass a little bit. I'm on the floor at my parents' house on a mattress in short shorts holding a BB gun. So I come here with my head held humbly low. But what do you call it? It gets to a point where it's like debatable, which is I guess it's supposed to be to an extent. But when I was a kid, it was like the whole point of science was like, when it comes to, let's say take something that was like mildly controversial when I was a kid in the South or whatever, when people would be like, do you believe in evolution or not? You're like, okay, well, we can kind of do some experiments that sort of show that evolution is the most likely. But then when it gets to the quantum stuff, every now and then something pops up on the YouTube where it's like, and then they figured out that this level of calculus was wrong. And you're like, I didn't know you could do that with math. I didn't know you could get into like theoretical mathematics where stuff like is debatable. I thought it was just like if you add one, you have one more. If you take two away, you got two less. And then they're like, yeah, we hit a dead end on this math thing. And I was like, well, then you probably should have been selling life insurance or something.
Fucking egghead.
You probably should have been trying to cut podcast clips. Dummy.
Yeah, I mean, I get you're saying they're like, you look at evolution, you go, yeah, monkey kind of has people hands, so I'm going to propose that we might have come from them.
Yeah. And
you're like, okay, I could see that.
I can wrap my noggin around that one. That's a theory I can really wrap my dick around.
Speaking of monkeys, dude, I had an interesting night last night on HBO.
Yeah.
Have you seen this? It's like the dude that brought Joe Exotic to the forefront.
Wait, is this a documentary about the guy who made the documentary?
No, this is another joint. This is another Joe Exotic joint.
Okay.
I don't know the guy's producer's name, but he's like an animal nut, and he found Joe Exotic and put Tiger King on the map, created it.
Okay.
He dropped a new one on HBO. It's called Chimp Crazy. And it's about this like nutty chimpanzee lady that lives in Festus, Missouri, right outside St. Louis.
Yeah.
And this gal that like came in and took over. Dude, it was blowing my mind, making me laugh so hard because they were showing like the history of people having chimpanzees, and they're like, we just love them. Once you fall in love with a chimpanzee, there ain't no going back. And the one chick breastfed one of the monkeys.
Holy cow.
With her daughter.
What?
She's like, he was born premature, and I was nursing Scarlett or whatever the hell her daughter's name was. I was nursing Susie. Well, I just thought it was natural. My maternal instincts kicked in.
Oh my God.
Hooked the chimp up there. And then it was just showing like, she was like, I wanted to be the best chimpanzee trainer in the world. I told my daddy that when I was 7 years old.
Well, you're off to a ripping start when you got one hanging off your tit, lady.
And then they were just showing all these monkeys putting on pants and like riding horses and shit, and it was making me laugh so fucking hard.
Dude, there's something that's like kind of freaky and dark about that. Like, you ever like hear one of the stories, where it's like just somebody like they start going to a new church and then they like, they'll like cut off their kid's dick or something because they get wrapped up in a cult, or you breastfeed a chimpanzee because you're with your daughter in the like. There's some weird corners of the human psyche that pop up that really throw me for a fucking loop. There are really some chaotic elements floating around in the cranium of mankind. People who fuck their cousins, people who fuck horses, people who breastfeed chimps, people who what are some other good crazy offshoots of humanity?
Well, the one, it's just like, I mean, they started, not to like go back to ignore your question,
no.
Offshoots of humanity. I mean, dude, all sorts of crazy shit. But this guy got his nose. They used to bring these chimps to birthday parties.
Yeah.
And that was like the business. So they would have a baby, and then they would have like a little baby chimp, and everyone loves these baby chimps. But then they get big, and they live like as long as a human.
Yeah. And
the one guy is like bringing these chimp to a birthday party, and his nose was all weird looking. I'm like, no. And then they're like, yeah, he got her new husband got too close to, Tonka's cage, and he bit his nose clean off.
Yeah, of course he did. He thinks it's your new wife's nipple. He's trying to suckle. Here's the thing, and look, I get that I don't mean to lump chimpanzee breeders in with pedophiles and cult leaders and shit like that. Yeah, I understand that there is a difference. Breastfeeding a chimp is you're creeping into that level of weirdness, but But
yeah, somebody in your circle has had sex with a monkey.
yeah, you're 2 degrees away from somebody who dresses up like King Kong and sneaks into the cage at night. But
It's too intimate.
you can't. I don't think that you can leave if you are a chimp breeder and you get married and then the chimp bites your husband's nose off. You can't leave him. You have to stay with that guy, no matter how deformed his face is. That's your new. This is the reap. You have to reap what you sow.
It just goes to show you that there really is somebody for everybody. Because can you imagine walking into a chick's house and she's like, by the way, before she opens the door, she's like, I've got 8 chimpanzees running around in here.
Just a heads up before you get in. Ooh, this didn't come up at dinner. Sorry, this totally
didn't. Feel
didn't.
a finger go up your ass when we're fooling around. It's probably Bobo.
He will be in the room while we're getting intimate. I want to give you a heads up. And he might get enraged. He might. There's a good chance that he becomes aroused and he pleasures himself.
Dude, she literally said that. She's like, when I met my husband, Tonka, or whatever the hell the chimp's name was, she's like, he was jealous. He started hooting and hollering because there's another male and throwing his poop at him. And
look, I'm going to need you to play it cool. You're more than welcome to spend the night. In fact, I'd welcome it. I haven't held a woman in my arms for some time now, but I want to let you know that there's a decent chance that if you stay for breakfast, you'll be splattered with feces from across the room. And that's going to be kind of par for the course. Look, when you get in a relationship with Eric, you get in a relationship with Tonka. And I'm going to need you to play it as cool as you possibly can.
And don't take it personal. Just establish a dominance. I'm just going to need you to go over there when he's sleeping and piss on his face. That way we can restore harmony.
Look, this isn't. I understand this isn't your dream first date, but I imagine that this wasn't your first marriage anyway. We're kind of at the bottom of the barrel here in terms of relationships. And look, if you and I are going to make this work, I'm going to need you to huck a handful of your own shit right back at him. Don't hold back. I mean, really overhand it. This ain't softball, lady. Try and get a little bit in his nose and mouth. Let him really feel it. And look, the sooner you do that, the sooner we can get out of here and go to Red Lobster.
They have to break up. He's like, I can't do it anymore. It's a fucking zoo around here.
You're bananas, lady.
They're basically us. They're 97.7% human.
Yeah, but let me tell you, that's that 0.03 that I really have a problem with.
Yeah, and you're 100% fucking batshit crazy, lady. Now give me my stuff. I'm moving out. You're going to have to fight Tonka for it.
You crazy bitch. You throw my clothes in the chimp enclosure. Fuck
dude,
you.
And then they go, like, PETA, like, this chick, like, outed them because she's like, they have all these old-ass monkeys that when they were babies, they were taking to birthday parties.
Mm-hmm.
And one of her inside people who was volunteering is like, this is terrible. She outs them to PETA. They get in this whole lawsuit. Dude, this chick that's coming is, like, made up, fake tits, like, makeup. She's, like, taking up the battle to fight it for this older lady who started the whole thing. And, dude, she's just feeding these chimps McDonald's.
Wait, who did? The lady who reported him or the lady who...
The lady who's taking care of him is just like, she's giving them Powerades and feeding them McDonald's.
Dude, I bet
Festus, Missouri, dude.
I bet that bumps him up to 99.8% human. A chimp that's been eating McDonald's and Powerade for a year it's more human than some of the people that I've worked with over the years.
She's like, oh, they just love Powerade. And she just like throws it through a slot in a cage, and just watching a monkey crack open a red Powerade and drink it like a human. You're like, fuck.
You just walk down in the middle of the night to go grab yourself a glass of water, and you just hear the crack of a Coors Light. The chimp's just got his tie loosened. He takes his hat off as he comes in the door. Hey, another long day in the monkey factory. I've been out here. I mean, 3 birthday parties today, but I'm just trying to put presents under the tree for the kids.
But yeah, that was chimp crazy.
I mean, I'll put that on the watch list. That's wild, dude.
Yeah, it was blowing my mind last night.
What's
Popped it on.
the most exotic pet that you would find acceptable for like a friend or a family member to get before you'd have to like address it and be like, I don't know if this is a good idea. How crazy could somebody go?
I mean, I'm not too big on snakes. And I'm not afraid of them. I just think that you're crossing some kind of weird line when you start to put snakes in the house. I think you could get away with maybe one.
Sure. Well, a one snake policy, I think, is A-okay. Certainly. I mean, it's not normal, or not necessarily, but it's like I can wrap my head. Like if you come in, you have a little terrarium with a snake that's under like 2 feet long. To me, that's a step above lizard, but it's I'm not. It's not something where I got to like take you aside and being like, like if I had a friend who got a chimp, you'd be like, hey man, I don't know if this is a good idea, you know?
Would you confront them, or would you just silently stop? Would it just be like, it'd be like seeing them do heroin where you're like, might not call them out, but I'm going to be careful.
It depends on the friend and the closeness. Also, like I have friends who make enough money that if they got a chimp, it wouldn't be, I might not be able to say anything. If you put away $100K a year, you know what I mean? You're just middle class and you're a single guy and you got nothing going on a Friday night. You're trying to cut back on drinking. You pick up a baby chimp. You go, hey, you look, it's only a little bit more work than a dog. It's a real conversation started with the ladies.
I mean, call me crazy. He cleans the house. I've trained him to clean the house. He mows the grass.
Here's the thing. He loves it, dude. That's what separates him from that's why you got to get a chimp before a kid.
Yeah, I don't know. The snake, like, I think you get away with one. Once you have multiple pythons in Rubbermaid containers in your basement.
Yeah. The snake breeders. But I mean, now we're getting into the hobby of it more than the creature itself. But it might have been a flawed question from the beginning because it's very circumstantial. You know what I mean? Like, I would be weirded out if any of my friends got a shark, but I do have some friends that are, again, like, I'm not in a position to judge a pet right now because I couldn't really even handle a betta fish at this point.
Did you ever stumble down the fish tank rabbit hole on YouTube?
I've seen them pop up, and let me tell you, if I had, like, if I had disposable income and then like the last inside urge of me to get pussy died, there's a path to. Have you seen the self-sustaining fish tanks?
Yeah, where they like build them with certain plants that filter it out.
Yeah, there's like no lid. It's just like the lily pads and the algae on top, and those produce enough oxygen for the fish. You get the sucker fish that clean the thing, and you just have this ecosystem. You just have to drop a, cricket into, whatever, twice a month, and it just I could get into that. Just the peaceful sound of a little water trickle. Every now and then look over and there's a salamander looking back at you while you masturbate.
Yeah, I've stumbled into this guy. He has like a 4-pound African bullfrog. And he's like, I'm building a new enclosure for Betty, my 4-pound African bullfrog.
Come with me as we make a new terrarium.
And his whole basement, it's got like 30, 40, 50, I don't know.
Dude, I don't remember
different aquariums. Where
this was. Somebody in my life, I got to ask maybe my parents would remember. Somebody on vacation, my parents took us on vacation, and then somebody that they knew in the town that we were vacationing in had a pet iguana that I wanted to see. So they took me to go see their friend's pet iguana. and it just lives in. It's got a bathroom to itself. The iguana.
Oh my God!
And they just filled the tub with gravel, sticks, and you just walk in, and that's where the iguana lives, in a little heated bathroom. Just climbing out of the tub, climbing back into the tub, which I hope it gets a window or something. I guess probably comes out of the bathroom during the day, but it's when you're in an apartment, it's wild to give one of your 2 bathrooms over to a lizard that will live as long as you will.
Yeah, that's wild.
But if I had a mansion, you could talk me into it. And probably not a bathroom.
I mean, there's a certain amount of money where it's tight.
Yeah.
Where you're like, a big ass aquarium's kind of pimp, because you're like, I can do whatever I want.
Yeah, somebody comes in on Thursdays and takes care of this.
Maybe that's the line with pets, is it's financial.
It's absolutely, yeah. There's, weirdly, there's also an amount of money you can go past the glass ceiling on this and be so rich that it's weird again if you have pets. Like if I found out Bezos had like an iguana enclosure, I would be like, no, you're Pat. It's for millionaires. You know what I mean? People who aren't making decisions.
Build a house that's glass in the jungle.
Yeah. Yeah, you need to, when you're a billionaire, you need to do it better. You got to do I have a sanctuary. The 4 square miles surrounding my house, I've recreated the Jurassic Park. And I go out and see dinosaurs. You definitely can't. Go ahead.
When I was in college, these dudes had a snake, and we would just be shit-faced drunk, and they would just like pop the snake out on the floor and feed it mice.
That's a good drunk hobby, a pastime.
Just the 2 species converging at such a point.
I had lizards when I was a kid, and I did not like we would feed them baby mice, and it's too dark to go get like a baby mouse corpse out of the freezer and just with tweezers set it down. It's like,
yeah, it's odd.
Yeah, I could give it the worms and stuff, but the baby mice was like, it's bordering on the macabre. Like when somebody has a python and they feed it like a live rabbit, and they watch it like choke the rabbit to death and swallow it while it's still alive.
Kind of serial killer shit.
Yeah, you're like, look, I get because this is the thing. They go, it's like, hey, it's natural. This is how they survive. And you go, yeah, but like, it's supposed to take place outside. There's something very bizarre about you facilitating God's plan in a microcosm in your house. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, look, it's the food chain. You go, yeah, the food chain stays outdoors. It was working just fine before you brought it into your home.
Not to mention that you have mice in your fridge.
You have mice in your fridge. And, hey, me and Ben were meaning to talk to you about this. Look, we love coming over here to drink and hang out, but every time I go to the Budweiser, grab a new can out of the fridge, you got to get rid of these mice. You need a separate fridge. I can't look at your Madagascar hissing cockroach farm every time I'm grabbing a Coors. It just kills the vibe.
Yeah, bugs are an issue. You can't have bugs.
Yeah, we used to have a separate little container for crickets. You go buy crickets. And you keep them in a little... now I'm remembering the smell of dead crickets. Because you have to keep a little separate side terrarium of crickets with food in it for the crickets. Then you catch the crickets and you take them out. You shake them in a little calcium powder so they're high. You got to get your lizard supplements. And you drop them in the lizard cage and hope he catches them.
I got to take my lizard supplements. Saw Andrew Huberman talking about it.
I just haven't been able to catch any flies with my tongue recently.
Pet spider.
Pet spider's a wild one, but the nice thing about them is that they are low maintenance.
Quiet. Fascinating.
But the spiders might be the worst vibe of a pet. You know what I mean?
For the person, or
just I think they're interesting. Part of me is like, dude, it would be kind of cool to get a tarantula because you feed it once every 7 months or whatever the fuck, and it's a fascinating creature. But like, dude, I would just have trouble sleeping just knowing that there's a bird-sized tarantula across just behind the TV wherever he's set up.
Yeah, I think we should go back to, like, you only have pets that you can use.
Yeah.
You know, like you get a dog to hunt mice because you live in a shithole.
Yeah, a rat terrier, cats in the barn.
Yeah, a herding dog.
Yeah.
You got to be able to use it. I also don't like birds, domesticated birds.
We had a bird growing up that was it was a fun character, but there is something inherently sad about the
clipping the wings of a bird, for God's sakes.
Clipping the wings. There's something in the metaphor there that's unsavory. Although when we were growing up, we let the bird grow its wings out for a little bit. We'd let it get to a point where it could like fly across the house before we clipped them, and it only liked my mom. It bit everybody else. But it would just ride around on my mom's shoulder. It was a cockatiel.
They talk?
No, it's a smallish one, but they're friendly, whatever. Hypothetically.
Someone should do a podcast with a parrot.
It just repeats the word to you.
It's so insane that they talk.
Yeah.
Even if it's just like repeating, thing is talking.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, you've seen the thing about crows solving complex puzzles and stuff, right?
That's how we got the internet. A couple of crows at the Pentagon.
What do you call it? They'll bring you. I've seen videos of like, people get like a coin slot, and when you put the coin in the coin slot, it dispenses like a little bit of cat food, and then they'll get what do you call it? The crows in their neighborhood will go collect loose change from around the neighborhood and bring it to. Yeah, that's an animal that you have a symbiotic relationship with.
Yeah, that baby's going out to hunt.
He's coming back, just dropping some nickels and dimes in there, giving you a little milk money.
Eric, you seem like you've been doing good. You got a new car. Did you get a new job or something?
You could say that. I'm Lord of the Crows. What? You heard me.
Huh?
I've become the Lord of the Crows in my neighborhood.
This son of a bitch brings in about $8.50 in change per day.
But now get this. I got him doing it. He got 2 of his friends doing it. They each got 2 of their friends doing it. There's a cloud of crows circling my house, and it's just raining pennies and dimes.
I went to Palm Springs last week. They just flew me there. They picked me up and flew me. We're looking at a second vacation house, maybe Airbnb it.
I thought about doing a timeshare, but then I thought, why bother? I got the crows. I got passive income via the crows. Why not just get my own place?
It's basically the plot of Monkey Trouble. Have you seen that?
Is that the same documentary?
That's the 1994 film.
We're just right back at the chimpanzees.
It's this guy, I think it's Harvey Keitel.
Sure.
In Los Angeles, he trains a capuchin monkey to rob people.
Oh, I've heard of this. I haven't watched it myself,
him.
But I've heard of this.
Fingers is the monkey's name.
It's also the name of one of those chimpanzees, I bet.
A Romani kleptomaniac vagabond Arzo lives off the grid with his intelligent capuchin monkey Fingers.
Here's the thing. If you can't afford to live on the grid, your scam is not making enough money. If taking the time to train a monkey to pickpocket people around Romania isn't bringing you enough money to live just in the town in Romania, then it's time to pick up a new scheme, a new money-making hobby.
Working as a hurdy-gurdy playing busker at Venice Beach, Arzo uses Fingers to lure in tourists and pickpocket them.
Does the monkey pickpocket them, or does he pickpocket them? Okay.
The monkey grabs the watch, gets something out of the pocket.
There's no way the monkey's getting a watch. The monkey can go in the pocket.
Starts to burglarize the homes of wealthy residents.
Uh-oh.
Fingers. Pretty good flick. 1994.
What's the conflict? What's the conclusion?
Do you really want to spoil it?
I mean, it's been out since 94. I feel like the audience of Turnip and Stone. But you can leave it as a cliffhanger just in case.
Fingers drops at something. He meets Eva walking home from school. Meets this like girl that likes the monkey or something. Dodger.
Uh-oh. Fingers, no, that's my girlfriend.
She.
That's what I'm supposed to do, Fingers. Knock it off.
Here's the thing. Debuted number 3 North American box office.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
You want to know what it pulled in?
Give me let me know.
$16,453,258.
Wait, say that. Say that again.
$16,453,258. We're talking 1994 cinema.
Yeah.
And you could write a movie about a tiny monkey pickpocketing people and make 16 million big ones.
All right, let's come up with a quick animal-based, low-budget, high-yield movie idea so that we can... I need to pocket some change quick.
Okay, here we go.
Give me an idea.
I got it.
Yes.
It's The Green Mile meets Ratatouille.
Okay.
You have an unjustly convicted prisoner in an Alcatraz-esque tyrannical prison. He befriends a mouse.
Okay.
And can communicate with the mouse through some sort of Morse code type situation.
Okay.
The mouse turns the light off and on.
Yeah.
He realizes that the mouse can communicate him with Morse code. Then he hatches a plan, and the mouse breaks him out of prison.
Mm-hmm. This is great.
But then the mouse gets caught in a mouse trap by another prisoner.
Oh shit!
Who uses mice to molest people.
I was gonna say smuggle drugs, but I like that. He sends the mice in to molest people for him.
Yeah, to strengthen his power in the prison.
Yeah,
he hypnotizes the mice to crawl into his enemy's butts.
If you're gonna be, here's his line. He goes, "If you're gonna be a rat, you can fuck like a rat." What? I didn't rat. I swears, Sharky. I never ratted on nobody. Yeah, we'll let the rats have their way with you. No, please.
No, not the rats.
Please.
And then he has to break back into prison to rescue the mouse, and then they end up moving to the Dominican Republic.
Is this, are you going to do live action or are you going to go animated?
Live action.
Yeah. How are you going to train? I mean, I guess you can train the rats.
Yeah.
There's going to be a scandal.
Lord knows that we can train some rats.
Lord knows we can train some rats.
Anyway, I think that'll figure we got about $1 million budget.
Yeah.
Release it. Make cool 20.
Yeah. Good return. All we got to do is get that angel investor for the first $1 million.
Now I'm just wondering, like, what are the highest grossing movies of all time? Because think about, that's crazy that for so long movies used to make so much money and now they just make nothing. I mean, unless you, I guess, make some kind of like deal with a streaming network. But they used to just be like a thing, almost like a house where you pay the money to build it, then you sell it, and how much you sell it for, you make the money. So each film was like its own thing.
Yeah.
Now it's like a streaming company buys it, and based on the popularity of what they can advertise, the makers of the film get paid just by the streaming company, not by the audience.
This is we have once again overcomplicated things as a species. Not unlike the science conversation that we started out with, we have once again driven past the point and made things more complicated than they need to be. And I think we talked about this on the last episode, or at least we've chatted about it recently, if I remember correctly. Late 90s. Why did we ever go past the late 90s?
Yeah, pretty solid.
I really don't know what else we needed to work on.
I think we just got to be right before internet.
I think a little limited internet is not a problem. Email, the beginning of email.
It's all right.
Look, I mean, I don't know. It might be. You might be right. I'm still trying to think about how we're going to get the podcast out to the world.
Fucking, you had to be a ham radio guy.
Pirate radio. I thought you meant you had to be a ham, thing. Like you had to be a cheesy radio guy. You had to really ham it up.
Ham.
A boinga boinga.
Do something funny.
And the third caller is going to win a Cuisinart toaster and 2 tickets to see Kiss at the Civic Center. Caller number 3, you're on the line.
Pull my finger.
Oh, my God. Traffic's backed up. 2 planes just hit the World Trade Center.
No, you had to be a pirate. Pirate radio is a real thing where you get in the airwaves and
did any comics blow up from pirate radio?
I don't know.
I can't think of anybody who's got that on their resume. But we could go back and do it.
Pirate radio. I mean, back in the day, comics blew up from being on radio shows, I guess. Didn't blow up, but got notoriety before there was TV.
Yeah, on radio for sure.
But even then, it wasn't. Comics weren't even a thing, really, in the modern way.
Yeah.
And then you had TV. That's how they did it. This is the first era of like self-produced whatever. Top grossing films. So I'm surprised by this result.
Please, lay it on me.
Just to step back a little bit. Do you want to guess or do you want to just hear it?
Top grossing films.
Worldwide.
Worldwide. Let me say, I'm pretty sure Lord of the Rings is going to be in there somewhere. I don't think it's number 1.
Not even in the top 10.
Really?
And I'll say this, I hate to say it. It's not even in the top 20.
That is wild to me. Titanic?
It's not even in the top 30.
Titanic's not? Oh, well.
Titanic is in the top 5.
See, okay. All right, I'm getting closer.
Solid guess.
Titanic. Can you give me a decade?
97.
Give me a decade.
Titanic hit the market.
The first one.
09. I'll give you the year.
09 is the year of the highest grossing movie of all time?
Worldwide.
And it's not Lord of the Rings.
No. Lord of the Wings doesn't even come in the top 30.
No, I know. 2009.
Lord of the Rings comes in 31.
What are we talking? The second animated Scooby-Doo movie?
For number 1?
Yeah.
Ruh-roh.
Ruh-roh.
That is not the right answer.
Give me the right answer.
Avatar.
Fuck me.
James Cameron. The deep sea diver did it.
Deep sea diver did it.
2,923,706,026.
I'll tell you, it ain't $1 billion better than Lord of the Rings.
Followed by Avengers Endgame. Followed by none other than Avatar: The Way of the Water. 20.
He got 2 on the
22.
top. He got 2 of the 3.
That motherfucker has some bread.
James
Cameron.
I don't even know anybody who saw fucking Way of the Water.
No wonder why he's going down to the depths of the ocean. Put out $2+ billion films.
I will say, in relation to the pet talk from earlier, that James Cameron is exactly right. You're a billionaire. He doesn't have a giant fish tank. He spends millions and millions of dollars to conduct deep sea operations.
Become a fish.
Yeah. Yes. When you're making $1 billion movies, that's exactly how you handle that. If you want to go check out something wet.
He didn't do. Was he involved in Titanic too? Dude, yeah, he did Titanic too.
Yeah, dude, this guy's.
That's 3
now,
flicks.
Do me a favor, check this out. Was he on the Epstein logs?
What? Dude, that's crazy. He might have been. I don't know.
Let's check that out.
Only got 670,000 followers on Instagram, so who is he really? I mean, you'd pass him down the street and just think that he works for,
the
government or something.
Unless he's dripping wet, he's got seaweed stuck in his hair. Flippers on.
I did not realize how many hitters that this guy brought. Aliens, The Terminator.
Damn.
Writing and directing The Terminator, for God's sakes. Canadian.
Okay. Fair.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, wait, you
Listen
need to adjust.
this.
You got to adjust this top 10 list for Canadian currency.
Switch subjects. He went to study physics, switched subjects to English, left college in 1974, worked odd jobs, including a truck driver and a high school janitor. He drank beer, frequently consumed cannabis and LSD, and wrote in his free time.
See, look, I'm on the right track.
He quit his job in 1977 after he saw Star Wars. He quit his job as a truck driver to enter the film industry.
Dude, what a time. Is that, and I'm
yeah, that's
bringing this up like, maybe I'm a coward or whatever, but is it, can you still do stuff like that? Is it still possible to quit your job and to work in the film industry?
Yeah, it's like, what does that even mean? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Pre-90s, dude. 77. You're killing it. 77? No cell phones. No internet. Truck driver. Killing it as a truck driver. You could be a truck driver. You could have 8 kids, a house, a wife that doesn't work, a lake house, a boat.
A giant submarine. The CGI required to make Avatar.
I'm done driving trucks, baby. I'm going to be in the film business. I'm talking films, blue people. Boats, sunken boats from the past.
Robots. You've had way too much LSD. This isn't real. You can't do this. Trust me,
I'm
baby.
going to write a movie about a robot that takes over.
People want to see robots. People want to see blue people.
You hear about James? Hey, quit last week.
Yeah.
He said he's going to write a movie about fucking blue people.
The kid went bonkers. I told him he had to stop taking those drugs. This is what happens when you drive trucks and smoke marijuana. Next thing you know, you're headed down to Los Angeles with the dream of writing about blue. He said something about blue people riding on fish. I said, James, you are crazy. You got a good life up here in Canada, driving maple syrup trucks to the moose factory and back in flannel pajamas. But no, he said he's going to go down to America. He said he's got a surefire way to make enough money to explore the ocean. And I said,
Crazy.
Dude, can you still do? Is there a world in which I can quit my job to work in the film industry without like setting it up first?
You just have to believe, dude.
Yeah. I feel like the 1970s had a little bit more belief. You hear that story about Iggy Pop trying to find a house for the Stooges when the band was just getting started in Detroit?
No.
And, you know, Detroit he found like a house that had been like burnt out. It was completely inside was just charcoal apparently. And he and the band were trying to find a place to live, all 4 members in a house or whatever. And he just took a bunch of mescaline and just spent the entire night shoveling ash out of a burnt out house to try and create some sort of a band home.
Here's what I think. I think we're all rocked to sleep by the inundation of massive amounts of personalized data that's curtailed to us, so we don't have the fucking huevos to just load up on stimulants and drugs and take crazy swings.
Yeah.
What other options did you have in 77? You weren't perusing the internet in your underwear.
Yeah.
You were staring at a fucking wall. You had 6 channels.
What does mescaline do? Maybe I just need to get my hands on some mescaline.
Psychedelic state compared to those produced by LSD and psilocybin.
Damn it, I really spelled mescaline wrong.
Oh, you're looking?
Well, this is why you have the computer. I probably shouldn't be looking on the iPhone. It's not efficient.
Occurs naturally in cacti.
Okay.
Dude, the cactus is crazy. Peyote.
Is it the same thing?
I guess it's the same sort of deal there. 5,700 years by indigenous people of the Americas.
That's how they were getting their band houses started. Effects of mescaline. On www.talktofrank.com. See, this is what happens now is people take mescalines and then they stay up all night making a website instead of a house for the proto-punk movement.
Yeah.
Mescaline comes from a button-shaped
DARPA.
seed found from the peyote cactus. Mescaline has a bitter taste, so some people grind peyote buttons into an off-white powder and put it into capsules. Peyote buttons are most often chewed, but they can also be mixed with water. How it feels. It's considered a hallucinogen or a psychedelic drug, an altered state of consciousness, with altered thinking and changes in time of perception. Happy, positive, enjoyable, and illuminating. Feel dreamlike. Sometimes you vomit, headaches, and feelings of anxiety. Not ideal. Can last from 12 to 18 hours.
Holy shit.
That's a lot. Physical risks. Experience moderate to severe vomiting and or headaches. See, that's why I'm so scared. And I got to get over it. I got to try something at some point. But the fear of like being in an altered state of consciousness with a tummy ache is one of the least appealing things that anybody could offer me. It can make you dizzy, anxious, and increase your heartbeat, and it can give you diarrhea. Well, joke's on you, peyote. Beat you to it.
Once you have diarrhea, you can't just get more diarrhea.
Yeah, what are you going to do? Clean me all the way out? You might actually shit myself back to normal with some peyote. Mental health risks. People have been known to harm themselves while under the effects of hallucinogens. Hence, it is particularly advisable for people already in a bad mood, feeling depressed or worried, to avoid taking mescaline in such a state. Scratch that off the list. Because the perception of your body and the world around you is distorted, you can also be quite distracted. You can be quite distracted. If you panic or don't feel safe and comfortable with the people you're with, the experience of mescaline trip can be confusing and sometimes very scary. Whilst good trips can be pleasant and amusing at the time, bad trips can be terrifying. Mescaline is not physically addictive, but like any other hallucinogenic drugs, you can become tolerant to its effects. The law. This is a Class A drug, which means it's illegal to have for yourself, give away, or sell. Possession can get you 7 years in prison. An unlimited fine? They have an unlimited fine option. That's strange, because when I was on mescaline...
I sentence you to an unlimited fine. What? Yes, it's unlimited. When we ask, you pay.
That's strange, because when I was on mescaline, I had a feeling of unlimited fine. And now I'm sentenced to pay the government an unlimited amount of... Every amount of money I get for the rest of my life goes to the government.
When does it start? Now. Give me whatever's in your pocket.
Give me that. What is that, a bottle opener keychain? I want that. And your raincoat. That's a nice REI raincoat. I want that. What is that?
That's not even monetarily speaking. That's just what I'm wearing.
Unlimited.
I said unlimited.
Just be thankful I'm not asking for your teeth. I can take whatever I want from you. Oh, that's funny. There you go. How's Eric doing after the mescaline trip? He's fine, but he's got an unlimited fine.
I don't know, man. He's unlocked something. He got into some serious trouble. They gave him an unlimited fine.
People just keep showing up to his house and taking stuff. There's
How long
no
is it
rules.
supposed to last for? They said unlimited. It's like a villain, like a Batman villain sentencing. Death, exile, or unlimited fine.
Or an unlimited fine. Because it's not even limited to the courts. You're allowed to just go to his house and take whatever you want. It's open season.
I was doing all right there for a while. I had a little bit in savings. I was working, and then I got hit with an unlimited fine.
You wouldn't believe it. I was going 12 over. And they said if it was 10, you would get it would be $150 plus community service. But because it was 12 miles over, I'm actually subject to an unlimited fine. Yeah, here's the problem is that it goes from now until the end of time. And it's sort of in relation to everything that I possess at all times is no longer, I'm actually Buddhist now. I no longer possess anything for the remainder of time. I reached nirvana, and unfortunately they repossessed that. They repossessed the state of being that I was in. I actually reached enlightenment, and then that went straight to county.
How long does it last? I said it's unlimited.
I'm trying to appeal it, and they repossessed my lawyer. I can't get my hands on anything to fight this.
That's crazy. Mescaline.
History of mescaline. Mescaline is both a hallucinogen and a Quizlet. What's a Quizlet?
Series of questions, like in a booklet.
It actually caused me to ask a series of questions about myself.
Where is Topeka, Kansas? What is the population of Denver, Colorado?
Oh, God, I'm tripping right now. What bird has the largest wingspan in South America?
Oh, man, he's passing through the Quizlet.
Just rolling around in your own shit and vomit on the floor of an ayahuasca tent. Like, the harpy eagle is the largest predatory bird. Cumulonimbus clouds can be found in low humidity environments.
What year was the radio discovered?
1828. 1828.
I'm passing through the Quizlet.
Oh, man, he's having a bad Quizlet. He's on the dark side of the Quizlet right now. 1 in 4 women will experience sexual harassment in their lifetime. The chances of being diagnosed with a deadly disease is 1 in 4. You'll never be as young as you are right now. He's going through the negative Quizlet. Somebody help him.
Before you can meet the entities, you must pass bravely through the Quizlet.
Oh, that's just good, clean fun right there.
Well, we're at an hour.
Hitting an hour. I'll chop this up fucking right away. Get another one in the bank. You want to
2 today?
What's that?
2? Back to back?
Yeah, should we just start another one right now? Or should we do another one tomorrow?
It's up to you.
Tomorrow I got... And this might get cut out of the episode.